And what I really love about this, which has me as a developer super
Hmm.
excited, is that developers and entrepreneurs now can make simple apps with no risk to them where they get paid a tiny bit every time someone uses their app.
Hey everyone, I have the fantastic pleasure today of speaking with the one and only Steve Zeiler of Anypay, CEO of Anypay. How's it going, Steve?
Hey, Joel, I'm honored to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason I'm here is because you messaged me a few different places like a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago maybe, and just says, "Hey, you should have me on because I have something really exciting to talk about." And so that piqued my curiosity enough to be here right now. And so, what is it that has got you so excited that you just have to go and run to the presses and say, "Hey, we got this cool thing going"?
Well, for a long time, we helped and help businesses
Hmm.
get paid with Dash and get more
Hmm.
customers to pay them with Dash. And we make tools that make it easy for Dash to grow and
Hmm.
for more people to get paid with Dash. And I'm coming to announce, and a lot of people in the Dash core group know about this,
Hmm.
but to announce to the larger Dash world an upgrade to the Dash payment system that makes Dash way better for payments and for
Hmm.
developers.
Oh, awesome. And what is this upgrade?
So this upgrade has been adopted by all the core Dash software
Hmm.
for the mobile wallets, the desktop wallets, and on Anypay, the most used Dash retail software.
And I would
And
argue for all of crypto, let's be honest, like not a lot of people are using crypto point of sale systems that aren't any pay out there.
that, that's true. And Dash
Hmm.
is pretty much number one. And what this does, it makes it makes the Dash wallets way more powerful by letting them pay a bunch of different people all at once
Hmm.
instead of pay a simple um, just one person.
Nice. And how is this done?
Well, this is done using the normal Dash payment format.
Hmm.
It, but Dash wallets have never taken advantage of the normal Dash format for sending to multiple people. And what I really love about this, which has me as a developer super
Hmm.
excited, is that developers and entrepreneurs now can make simple apps with no risk to them where they get paid a tiny bit every time someone uses their app.
Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. So, like a lot of times when you see those kinds of models, it's like a custodial model where they'll take everything and then they'll forward on to the end user most of it and just keep a little bit of themselves. But they're actually receiving all the money themselves and then they're passing it on to the end user minus the fee. And what you're saying is this isn't the case at all, that this is the end user is getting their like 99% or whatever the payment right away, and the developer is only ever touching their little fee. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is awesome. The developer can get any amount of fee they want
Mm-hmm.
without ever touching the customer's money or the business's money or
Mm-hmm.
whoever's transacting. The developers don't have to be a middleman.
Yeah, well, that's really exciting. So, how what is the technology that allows this to happen? Like, what is the implementation?
Well, at a low level, it's a Dash transaction,
Mm-hmm.
which can have one or more outputs.
Yeah.
And an output is an amount paid to a Dash address.
Yeah.
And normally you might have a payment that goes to one Dash address for an amount, and it actually often goes to a second Dash address people might not know, or you might, which
Mm-hmm.
is your change address.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of traditional Dash payments have two outputs, one to the person you're paying and one to change, which is back to your wallet.
Yeah. That's something that a lot of people who don't use cryptocurrency, even a lot of people who do, let's be honest, don't really know is crypto is kind of like cash in that you got different inputs and outputs, you have different pieces. And so, for example, if I have like a one dash, or like that's about $105 today, right? But one dash thing in my wallet, and I want to pay someone, buy a coffee, I can't just, it doesn't like break off. I have to like basically send the whole thing, and then I got to send the change back to me, just like you do with paper cash. You take that bill, that $10 bill, you give them back, and then they give you back $7 or whatever. It's kind of like the same thing. And a lot of people don't even see that happening because it's all background. But yeah, so rather, basically what you're saying is this is doing the exact same thing, except instead of just to the destination, everything you got, and then the change back, it actually splits it to a few different destinations now.
That's right. And you can, this could already happen if you made custom Dash software, and it can send to more than a few. You could send to 100 or 1,000 different people all at once. The upgrade that we've coordinated with all of the developers in Dash Core is for the wallets to be able to understand requests to pay multiple people at once.
Yeah. And that's the BIP70 protocol, right?
That, yes. And we like to call this the peer-to-peer payment protocol. And the reason is payment services and apps can collect payment where the money goes from the customer to the merchant, or to the payer to the receiver, peer-to-peer, and the payment service doesn't have to be in the middle.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like when you receive if you set up Anypay for your business, right? And say you want all your payments to go to a single address, not just a single wallet, but just a single static address, you can still have it now, though, where every time you make a payment, the customer makes a payment, it's a different address, but then it ends up in the same spot at the end. But then you don't have to do a custodial thing. There's no like middleman holding on to it in the middle.
Right. So people can make apps that don't take possession of money, which is, it's really important. And you're right, this is called BIP70. And it's super important this way for legal reasons. And we can talk about that. It's also way more efficient for developers. So you said that a lot of people don't know about the different sized coins, the different like bills, and they don't know these technical things. This protocol actually makes it so you have to know less about Dash than ever before to develop an app.
Yeah. So BIP70, obviously for those not really familiar with what BIPs are Bitcoin improvement proposals. And, Dash has DIPs, Dash improvement proposals and stuff. And it's basically, I guess, the 70th of those was to enable this kind of stuff on Bitcoin and its children. So first off, is this something that every cryptocurrency is theoretically capable of, or is it just a few, like at the protocol level, and then we'll go to the wallet level?
Many different cryptocurrencies do support this at the protocol level, which is multiple outputs. And now, as far as the peer-to-peer protocol part, the BIP70 of BIP70, what makes that different is that a wallet, when they sign a payment, instead of broadcasting that to the entire world, they send that payment, the signed payment, directly to the payment service provider, and in our case to Anypay, or to another piece of software. It makes it so that instead of us having to listen to the whole world and all Dash transactions just to find that one purchase of a salad that you made, your wallet gives us that payment directly, so we know exactly which payment we're looking for.
Yeah. So basically, from my understanding, and obviously I'm a noob, but not as big of a noob as some other people out there, but to sort of break it down, right now, if I'm paying someone with my little wallet, my little phone wallet, it's connected to a node somewhere, which broadcasts, I send a payment, it goes to the node sends it out into the Dash network, into the mempool out there. And then the payment processor or the receiver's wallet, their node picks it up from the mempool and then puts it down and says, oh yeah, there we go. But now we're cutting down on all that by just sending it straight to the end recipient that then can broadcast it out there. Is that kind of how it works?
Oh yeah, this reduced our cost of processing Dash payments by 99%.
I mean, like processing power and like bandwidth and time and all that?
Yeah, all of those resources, because we
Mm-hmm.
don't, it used to be that we had to run this big Dash software,
Mm-hmm.
and it carried a copy of all of the Dash payments, the whole history of Dash,
Mm-hmm.
the blockchain. And
Yeah.
this is expensive to run and operate, and it's growing faster and faster every day as more people use Dash. And this is not something that all developers, website developers, app
Mm-hmm.
developers are going to want to do. First of
Of
all,
course not.
we used to have that because we needed to see all of the world's payments. But now that the Dash wallet submits payments directly to us, we don't need to have that full Dash software at all.
Yeah, that's a huge like cut down on time. And one thing I noticed, because I've paid with crypto of any kind for 7 years now, and I've paid almost exclusively with crypto for like 5 years, and 4 of those were with Dash. So I've gone through a lot of payments, and as smooth as I've gotten it, like there've always been pain points of like, oh, I go and try to pay. The wallet didn't pick it up yet. Oh, just wait. The connection, sorry, I was interrupted. And like I've troubleshooted so many wallets of like little bugs they didn't know were there because not enough people were using it. And especially with the payment thing, that was always, I always remember like a little bit of a stress point of like, am I going to have to like explain that? No, it'll just show up in 5 minutes. Don't worry. Like it'll work now. It may not work because the Wi-Fi is a little sketchy and like those kinds of things. And then like the cash experience it's old school, right? It's not modern payments, right? It sucks in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways it's reliable because here's the piece of paper. It looks like something you'll take. Here you go. It's done. And so having that kind of certitude, that's like, oh, I know I'm gonna hit send and then zap, it's over. That's the kind of thing that the promise of crypto payments is something that I think is really going to get a lot of people excited.
Definitely. And it is like, you can test it yourself. It like is zapped now. It's so fast because we cut out everyone in the middle, all the processing time we had to do. Now we get payments directly. It's lightning fast. Often the cashier will see that they were paid before your wallet even says paid.
Yeah. So the actual practical change that happened was the Dash wallets started basically change the configuration to be able to read this kind of information, these kinds of invoices and stuff. And that's the change that happened, right?
That's right. The Dash wallets now understand a protocol that lets them read this information and communicate directly with our server or other payment providers.
Yeah, and do you know off the top of your head if a lot of like unofficial wallets, like say multi-coin wallets, like Edge and Coinomi and things like that, do you know if they also support payment protocols like that, or is it so far just like a few of them?
So far, it's definitely all of the official Dash software, and some multi-coin wallets do support this protocol. Like Edge supports the peer-to-peer protocol, Bitcoin.com wallet, and others. I believe Exodus wallet had support for that. And any wallet can add this functionality pretty much to any coin.
Yeah, and so it's just like secure and like done like right away.
Yeah, well, we see it instantly. There's no question of will it make it through the entire global network of nodes and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I think it's one of those criticisms a lot of people have had about blockchains as for payments. They've said, oh, it's too slow. It's not going to work because blockchains are just inherently super slow. So they'll never be adopted for payments. And maybe the whole process of, oh, you throw it out into the mempool and then a miner picks it up and then another miner confirms it another time, you get 3 confirmations or whatever. Maybe that's really way too slow for payments, but it's super secure. But if you can just have that where you just pay and it works right away, it's instant, like faster than instant almost. And then you have the benefit of the security on the back end where it becomes, I mean, Dash has a few layers of security to make it secure quick, but realistically, just about any blockchain, any major blockchain that's not going to get 51% attacked, just has that like ironclad permanence within a few minutes, but it's like right away it shows up and it's that fast. So it's kind of like, now it's like the best of both worlds where you can use it lightning fast, and at the same time as you still have that super security. You're not going to get a charge back. You're not going to get anything else like that.
Yeah, it's much better. We're working with more wallets to add this, and this came up and became a very important issue because a cool merchant came from Venezuela, which in Caracas, which I'm very envious of. I wish we had this in Portsmouth. It's called Dingo Delivery, and
I know those guys. I wrote an article about them just a few days ago. Very exciting service.
It is a cool service, and they use Anypay to collect payments with Dash.
Nice.
And places that are not in our home country or other parts of the world, it's often uncertain what the local laws are about companies that handle customer funds, and what are the requirements to get a license, which is often like impossible to get or really expensive for money transmission. And with this protocol, Anypay, we have certainty that we are not we don't touch the money from the customers, so we can serve cool companies like Dingo Delivery, and it gives us a lot of confidence and certainty, and that means anyone can develop an app too in places like Venezuela or anywhere that are more restrictive because they're not money transmitter companies.
Yeah, and that's especially interesting for other. I mean, obviously in that situation, yes, you want to have legal certainty. Also, I know technologically, like the U.S. and possibly, let's just say, like, Japan, Korea, maybe a couple other places are like top of the food chain as far as speed of like bandwidth, high tech phones, everything like that. And I've noticed, like, because I've gone to a trip even in like France and used the internet there to write, and it's it's such a step down from like, oh, it's taking forever, it doesn't load, and like just when you go cross the border into a first world country to another first world country, you could have some really bad experience. And then right here, which is fantastic bandwidth, not a lot of users, all that kind of stuff, it's still, as I mentioned before, I still hit these pain points. But I can hardly imagine if you're in Venezuela and like the internet's not reliable at all, the power is not even reliable, and then you're trying to wait to send something up to the mempool and then wait for a payment wait for the processor to figure it out and grab it from the sky. That could be really bad, like a bad user experience. But now if you just like those milliseconds, like the cut down times and bandwidth and everything, the more you shrink it, obviously here I feel it, maybe like, wow, that was fast. It was like a whole second faster than before. It's like, I feel it doesn't matter too much, but I feel it. But somewhere else, it could be like, oh, this was like all day and now it actually worked. Now I can actually use it. It could be huge for other countries.
Yeah, and I imagine in many places when people are using services, they don't even know if they're a corrupt service they're using, or will they run off with the customer money or what? And now with this protocol, the upgrade, it's impossible because payments, there's no middleman. So it's really great. You can't ever, as a developer, you can never lose money. You can't be hacked and have money stolen. So it's really nice, and people like to not rely on third parties. And you're right that it being faster that gives people more confidence. So this lets Dash have a lot more confidence.
Yeah. And there's another level of this, right? So Dash platform is out on EvoNet, a developer testnet thing. And there's a lot of people trying to build decentralized applications on it so that when it hits mainnet, they can go do it. And of course, there's a few programs that have bounties out there to like, oh, if you build this app or whatever, there's a bounty to pay for it. But a lot of these are volunteer developers. Like the whole crypto space is like almost none of it is paid as far as development. If you think about it, so much of this is volunteer or just the open source worlds like that. Now, of course, that's a big risk because you spend a lot of time and effort building stuff that then you don't get money from, or you have to work for a company and hope that they pay you the fair wages for whatever you're doing. But this could be pretty big where if you have like a fee model of like an app, right? Say you process like a crypto Patreon type thing that just every time someone donates like $5 to an artist, like 1 penny of that or 5 cents, goes to the developers. And then you could have that where it's not just to one spot, right? You could split it up to the different individual developers who worked hard on it. And even, I mean, I'm sure obviously this would have to be very carefully designed, but imagine making a system where based on like percentage and like a gravity of GitHub commits that some developer made, it like automatically adjusted what percentage of the fee you get. So then it just the hardworking developers, just whenever it works, not like, oh, I'm a Bitcoin Core contributor, I put 1 line of code and that's it, and he gets paid equally. No, it's like whoever's done the heavy lifting gets more of it, and it just is like then people get really excited to build free or free-ish software or whatever, because to work for free because they're investing in their own future without trusting that, well, I built the software, but is the company going to go belly up? How's the company around it going to work? It's like they can just build a free open source thing and get paid for it in accordance to the value of what they put out.
And they get paid every time someone uses it, every time there's a transaction, which really aligns incentives for everyone. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where the developers want to drive transactions because every time they can get paid a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so this is here another thing, and this goes because you guys are like down and deep into the retail part of things, the payments, like the everyday buying things. Now, what about like tipping? So, for example, how hard would it be to design a system where you had let's just say a payment, and then you had like a tip jar, and the tip jar was whoever was on staff that day. And so when you punch in or punch out, like say there's 3 people at the coffee shop, 3 people working, what is it? Like the payment is like say 80% payment, 20% tip, or you can add a 20% tip on top, however it ends up working out. And that thing gets split on evenly among the 3 people who are on the clock. And then just like someone punches out and it goes back to 2 and then 3, and then just they're automatically getting tips to them as they're working.
I can tell you that a developer could make this today if they wanted to, with anyone who has the Square point of sale software.
Yeah.
But our mission is to empower developers to basically build any kind of multiple recipient app that they want by opening up our platform that we use to build the Anypay cash register and our online payments for developers to create any kind of payment like this that they want. So you could take the Square API, which gives you information about who's working right now, and you use the Anypay API to create a payment that goes and splits 80% and 20% to the person who's working.
Yeah, I mean, that would be really cool too. I can imagine building something off of this where obviously in the real world today, people want fiat currency, unfortunately. A lot of people, because they have to, it doesn't change value as much as quickly, and they need to pay some bills in it that don't yet take crypto. So a hardcore business will just take it all in crypto. But another business might want to convert some, and there's like a binary option for a lot of people, a lot of business owners is, do I take this giant risk with crypto right now, or do I take no risk and no benefit from crypto? And, prices are starting to go up. We're hitting more of a bull market now. So how cool would it be if someone could just say, I'm going to do like every payment, I want some of it to go to Uphold, like 50%. Like I'm willing to take a 50, I penciled it in. I get about, let's say 1% or 10%, but probably more like 1% of my sales in crypto. If I just took that hit, I don't think I could afford it. Like if that's lost, I don't think I could afford it. But if I took a 0.5% hit, I could afford that. And so then they just do half the payment goes to convert and half the payment just stays that they speculate on. And then, at some point they get to be safe, but then eventually they see, oh, wow, this is going up a lot in dollar terms because the dollar is being hyperinflated. And now they do really well, but they get that security blanket in the short term. And then they don't have to worry about, losing out either because their fiat's worthless or because the crypto fluctuates too much in the short term.
Yeah. And from the customer perspective, it just works. They don't even have to know where the money's going. Yeah. And developers can make it so that for the business, payments go to the right places according to their needs. No thinking about it. Yeah.
And that's something that I don't think enough people know instinctively, but they don't really appreciate enough is like they say, like, just don't, they like whenever they want you to do an extra step, it's like, well, all you have to do is spend 3 seconds and do this thing. And what they don't realize is the way people's brains are wired. Every little extra action, every extra bit of time significantly cuts down on the chance that they'll actually engage in the action to begin with. So if they're going to pay with crypto and they have to go pull out their wallet, they open it up, they enter their PIN in, and then they hit send, they hit scan, and they scan a QR code, and then they go, and there's like 2 confirmation prompts, and they hit it. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's paid. That's good. A lot of people will do that. But if it just, what if you pick up the phone, and as soon as you open the app, you just hit quick scan, you hit go, and then it's like 1.5 seconds, it's done. Like, it's not like, we'll just wait 3 more seconds. Well, that means a lot of people won't do it to begin with. But if it's that fast and that easy, and like I remember I had a couple times, probably really only one major time, I was paying with Dash around here, and then the person just said, yeah, we don't take it. I'm like, yeah, you do. I paid 3 times there yesterday, and a couple other people do. And she's like, no, I don't want to. And I was like, I see the owner there, talk to him. And they made him. She didn't want to engage because it was just, I have to zoom out the app and open what I don't want to deal with it. Just want to say, we don't take it, because she didn't want to deal with it. But the less pain it is, now all of a sudden that starts to happen less and less and less. And then like there's a tipping point at which people's willingness to even engage in crypto goes from the binary no to yes. There's a big spectrum of user experience that will push someone from, nah, I don't want to deal with it, to sure, I'll deal with it. And you could have a ton of new people living off of crypto if it's just that much easier.
Yeah. And the protocol upgrade that we've done with Dash makes it eliminates a lot of problems that affect the user experience, whether it's the cashier or the business owner or the customer. For instance, it's impossible to pay the wrong amount now with the Dash wallet using this payment upgrade. Before you could accidentally pay not half as much, or a little bit too much, or slightly off, and it might confuse people. And now everyone can have confidence that their payments are perfect every time, because incorrect payments can be rejected.
Yeah, that's especially cool because when you scan a QR code, it usually just the address, and sometimes it's the address plus the amount in Dash. So it's like your software says like $20 worth of Dash, and it puts out a QR code that says this address and this amount. And they could have a different exchange rate on their side and be like, why does it say 21.50? I don't understand that. Or you could do it and then like you could scan it and then the wallet updates because we're going to price spike. And then it's just like, wow, you want me to pay like $24 for this? What the hell is this? It's like, it's kind of like, but if it's an actual payment code like that, you get to pay in real time, the real time value. It's not like it's like it works right then and then that's it. Like, no, it actually works consistently. Like, I believe you guys have a setup where you have QR codes that are sort of evergreen QR codes, to where if you scan it, even if the price is completely different, the unit price is still the same and it automatically adjusts. Is that right?
Right. This feature is elegant and simple, a way of collecting the same amount no matter what the price is. So say you want to collect 12 euros, you can print out a code or have a link, and it will always be exactly 12 euros of Dash, no matter how much the price changes. So every time your wallet requests to pay this amount, it will get the latest Dash price instead of what the Dash amount was a week ago when that code was created.
Yeah, that's definitely a big pain point, especially because people talk about like fluctuations and things like that, well, it's not worth the same today as yesterday or whatever. But it's like, it's always, when you always work in real time, that is something that's a lot better. So, I mean, this is really exciting stuff. First off, where can developers find more about this so they can start kind of building stuff on this?
Developers should, and they're going to love it. People love to use Anypay. They should go to anypayinc.com and create a simple account. They can get experience working with these codes themselves, and that will then get them future letters with more information on how to build their own custom apps. So if they go to anypayinc.com and sign up, but just put in your email address, and then we'll reach out to you directly and find out what your needs are and send you more information on how to use our platform.
Yeah. So, and if a customer, just someone who's used Dash, can't develop for anything, but just loves using it, they'd probably go to, say, what is it, like anypaymap.com to find where they can spend it.
That's right. You can go to anypay.city. That's our registry of businesses where they can use Anypay, and people can find places nearby. And it's really fun. And I encourage also anyone who has a small business or wants to put themselves on the map to download the Anypay Cash Register app to their phone. We just released a brand new, completely rebuilt version. It's super fast and native. Yeah. And you can put yourself on the map so that people who have Dash can find you.
Yeah, and I have to emphasize for the people watching who might have used other ways of finding where they can spend their crypto, is there's a bunch of maps out there and the information changes so quickly. If it's not updated, you could be at a place that doesn't take it. And a lot of these maps, a lot of these directories, if you go to them, even if they do accept it, you don't know how they do. And so, for example, I went into the dark lands, as I call the outside of New Hampshire areas where there's not as many places you can use crypto. So I went to Phoenix, and there was a classic crust pizza, a great little pizza place that is apparently owned by a guy who used to mine a whole lot back in the day. He's a huge crypto guy, and they take crypto. And so what happens is when you want to pay, first off, the owner has to be there. And second, he has to have a wallet, like his own wallet that he takes it into. And so basically you might go there and say, hey, do you take crypto? Oh, I don't know how it works. And at least if you go see the Anypay map, you can tell when was the last time someone paid. And also, you know exactly what their setup is. Oh, there's a app that says Anypay. You just go here, go boom, 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 and then they'll send you, oh, it's the wrong coin here. I'll just switch it. You have confidence that the actual user experience is going to be great, that you're not going to be this weirdo talking about crypto stuff in a business and like, I don't know, maybe the owner, I don't know, let me call someone, and it's just this bad experience all around. Here, you know how it's going to work, and you know as soon as you hit pay, it's just going to go through right away and no problems.
Yeah, our users who are customers, they love Anypay because they always know a place is going to actually take their Dash. If we say it is, we obsess over the experience. Cashiers love it because it's stupid simple. They don't have to understand like the price of Dash or or understand how to use a wallet, which they just want to type in an amount of dollars and then see that they got paid.
Yeah.
And business owners love it even the most because they don't have to be in the business. They can be out, in the woods or wherever they want to be,
Yeah.
traveling with their family, and um, they just get paid right to their wallet.
Yeah.
So, and it works for everyone. And the map is really great because
Mm-hmm.
like it attracts Dash to you as a
Mm-hmm.
business owner like a magnet, because people who have Dash know about the map and they know that they can go spend it.
Yeah.
So definitely put yourself on the map. If you have a business,
Mm-hmm.
get the Anypay cash register app in the Play Store for Android or the iOS Apple Store.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's fantastic. I'm sure a lot of people will be very excited to start kind of using this, because a lot of people don't just haven't really experienced much out of like novelty of spending crypto, and to be able to see it in the real world and then just be like, I just scan, it works, bam, it's that easy. Um, and it's especially like new users. Like there's a project, an app called Dash Queen, which is like a beauty pageant app where people voted by sending Dash to an address. And so there's all these people, especially in South American countries, who just like, hey, I want my little beauty pageant for the month. I got a bunch of new Dash. What do I do with it? How do I use it? I'm not a technical person. I'm a model. And then now they can go spend it. And it's so much easier. They don't have to be like, what wallet are you using? How do you do this? It just hit the scan button, send, and the business, it just works.
Well, I'm curious, Joel, what are
Mm-hmm.
you looking forward to? What feature in the Dash economy would make your life better?
Yeah. So the biggest thing that would make my life better is um, as far as like the actual, I would say something like the Anypay app map for more than just Anypay, or Anypay just gets into all the businesses that use something inferior, right? Just like a good map or a good registry where I know where I can spend it, and it's not like this, old school coin map. Oh, 5 years ago someone added a thing, no one checked it, the managers moved on, like all that kind of stuff. Just like a reliable map. And like, for example, I was using and helping maintain Discover Dash back in the day because I could make sure, but it was all manual. And then it's like, it's still really hard to do that. So that's the biggest thing, is just the um is there a maybe a sorting option on the NAPay map of like which currency do you know they have enabled or something automatically might be good.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. It will tell you now. Okay, so
yeah,
and that will help you discover only the places where you want to go.
yeah,
It will tell you now which coins they support, but we will definitely make it so. I was thinking the
sorting.
exact thought. Just I want only Dash, or I have Dash and Bitcoin Cash, but
Yeah,
only those places.
yeah. So that's one thing. And by the way, so like when it says which ones they accept, is that manually updated, or if they add a new address on their back end, it just automatically updates with a new one?
Everything about the Anypay City map is
Mm-hmm.
automatic.
Okay.
So when you register yourself, you appear on the map.
Mm-hmm.
And when you add an address for a certain coin, then that coin appears on your account so people can see.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you get a payment, your business is updated so people know, yes, people are going there. So it's all automatic, which makes it basically the opposite of all other coin map and registry systems, which were all manual.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the big that's the big lack of trust things, because as soon as you have that manual touch, as soon as that manual touch is gone, it just goes stale like so quickly. As soon as like, oh, I added a business, and then you just go away, and it's like if you don't check back the next week, they could be gone. Like who knows? And especially in these, like there's been a lot of turmoil lately. A lot of especially in-person businesses have gone under, and it's like that can become, a lot of the data is just like not valuable anymore. And I remember I checked the Bitcoin.com merchant map, and it was like I think they listed like 11 Bitcoin Cash accepting businesses in Portsmouth, And I looked at that map and I'm like, well, I know off the top of my head that 7 of those 11 used to, but either don't exist or don't take it anymore or whatever. And I'm like, but your map is just still saying that they do. And then like, oh, that's no good. It's like a customer's like, oh, I'm going to go. Oh, there's no business here. And then they get, this crypto stuff is a scam. And then they get all sad. And it's like, we don't want that at all.
No, you like business owners want positive reviews from their customers, and they want happy customers coming in who are delighted that they can use their coins rather than feeling rejected and sad.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, that's great stuff. So anypay.city is where you find all that kind of stuff. And Anypay Inc., as in incorporated.com, is where you go to find more about being like, if you're a developer or merchant and you want to sign up.
Yeah, that's right. It's simple to sign up, and you will get information. And I personally am on a mission, and so is my co-founder Derek, to work with everyone who signs up to make Dash a reality in their life. And we've worked with so many different kinds of people, whether you just want to find places to spend, whether you are a business who wants more sales, more positive reviews, whether you're a developer. We have a lot of experience, actually, tons of experience. And so yeah, I will personally help you achieve your goals and get more customers and everything.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, well, thanks for giving me the time for this. Put this up pretty soon. And yeah, I hope everyone watches this, because there's a lot of people settling for inferior experiences in the crypto world, especially to the point of they're not doing it at all. They're just not. And there's so many people, like I keep talking about, like people that say they live on crypto. Like there's a few that say that, like, oh yeah, I live on it, I do that. And I'm like, oh, what do you do? I exclusively sell it for cash. Oh, okay. And it's like the people that actually, that's what they receive and that's what they spend primarily, is really rare. And so, I mean, I think that we can turn that around pretty quickly. I think it was really hard when I started trying to mostly spend crypto places back in 2015, 16 when I started. But now it's just so much easier. It's like there's almost no excuse.
And we will continue working with everyone in Dash to make payments superior to the existing system, cheaper and better. So it was a pleasure, Joel.
Yeah, thanks so much.